Remembered the year between 1 and 2 with my daughter, Cece, before the terrible 2 struck with a vengeance. She barely made it to 3. Eventually, gradually, the world would rob Ben of his innocence. And someday, when the time was right, we would fill in the details. The bathroom door swung open, and there was Mac, naked but for a towel wrapped around his lower half, his chest and back speckled with the tough little whitish scars. Just below his left collarbone was the nickel-sized tattoo of a lavender dahlia he'd gotten in a bout of adolescent rebellion, when his father was pressuring him to go to college so he wouldn't end up in the family business running the hardware store. In the end, he decided his father was right and gave up his resistance. But the tattoo remained. He had once joked that he didn't need to explain his life to anyone. He could just lift his shirt, and his history would be revealed in the ruinous alterations of his skin. Half his face was slathered in foam, erasing the cleft in his chin, and the other half was cleanly shaven. I held up the newspaper for him to see the photograph of himself, sitting behind his desk at the corporate headquarters of Quest Security, above a caption reading, "Seamus Mac McCleary was recently promoted to Senior Vice President of Forensic Security," and below the headline, "McCleary replaces Stein in sudden shift at Quest." He said it would run sometime early this week and that he'd give me a heads up. Which he didn't do. Who knows? I haven't checked my email all weekend. He peered at himself in the newspaper. I'm still not sure it was such a good idea. You're in the private sector now, I reminded him. Fair game. And that kind of promotion always comes with scrutiny, especially since Deirdre was well-liked. True. He shook his head. Did you read it? What does it say about her? I skimmed the article, looking for Deirdre's name. It says, "Who was let go abruptly last week in an alleged pay-for-play corruption scandal involving an exchange of money for altered forensic testimony in a high-profile legal case." That's all it says. Alleged, Mac said. That's good. They'll have to prove she cheated. It makes me sick to get her job this way. It had been his mantra the entire week since Deirdre had been forced out. His other mantra had been, I hope she countersues for race discrimination or sex discrimination. Take your pick. I had met Deirdre a few times. Briefly. She was a light-skinned black woman in her middle 30s, with an impeccable educational pedigree and a reputation as an effective manager and a tough cookie. Mac had worked with her for over a year and had always thought highly of her. Watching her get the axe, seeing himself moved abruptly into her position had pained him, but he was no wilting lily, having been a cop for 2 decades, and he dutifully took the job. Good news and bad news, he had said upon returning home one night a week ago. What do you want first? I had stared at him, unwilling to answer. He knew I didn't want it if it was bad news. Okay, he plunged in. Good news first. I got a huge raise. Bad news is they went through with it. Deirdre's out. I'm the boss now. I had to remind him to focus on the positive. A promotion of that caliber was an honor, not to mention that his pay raise would be a boon to us, as I was bringing in nothing at the moment besides my disability income. Those checks were another sad reminder of how my life and work had fatefully collided. Motherhood had slowed my progress toward a college degree, but I was still plugging along, taking courses in forensic psychology at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, in slow preparation for my second career. After a couple of margaritas at the local Mexican restaurant over the weekend, Mac had joked that we should both ditch our last names and call ourselves Mr. and Mrs. Forensic. I laughed, but couldn't help wondering if the comment betrayed disappointment that I had stayed Karin Schaefer, holding on to my first husband's last name, especially since Mac's first wife, Val, gave up McCleary to become Ing when she remarried. He patted dry his face and kissed me. His skin carried the spicy scent of the aftershave I had given him for Father's Day as a kind of joke. Next year maybe he'd get a tie. The year after, a golf ball paperweight.